Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Morning Makes. I was hoping to post some things before I left on Saturday, but I didn't get to it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I went to Florence this weekend with my really good friends and coworkers, and we had like a little girls' getaway, and it was much needed. Um, one of my friends lost her son, and we are just trying to rally around her and be with her and take her away and try to kind of have a moment where she can just be and breathe. She loves the ocean, so did her son, so that was just, part of that trip. We also went to a tea shop called Lovejoy's, and I have never been to a tea shop, and it was the most amazing experience. I just loved it. I think the story is that the lady who owns it came from England. Um, And so she's got a lot of things, imported things that you can only get over there, from across the pond, as some people say. Um, so it was just such a fun experience. They serve you all these yummy teas. It's called high tea. Uh, and then they'll bring you out different courses. So you had like a little appetizer course, and then you get like a little soup, and then we got a bunch of tea sandwiches, which were like on these beautiful tiered little trays. They're like little triangle sandwiches, different kinds. They had salmon, dill, and of course the classic cucumber, cream cheese, curry chicken, all kind of different things. So it was just super nice. And then for dessert, they serve you a homemade scone. So their scones, I guess traditionally, they're not the triangle scones. They're more shaped like a biscuit, but they're very just fluffy and yummy and kind of cakey. Oh my goodness, it was just amazing. So anyway, we had a blast. If you're ever in Florence, go to Lovejoy's. It was just a neat experience. um, so I'll go ahead and get started on what I have to share today. This is my first card. And this particular card, I saw this technique. It's all over, really. It's one of Tim Holtz's techniques. See in the background, it's called ink smudging. Um, so if you look that up on YouTube, ink smudging, you'll see all kind of videos about that. And basically all that is, now I would have gotten all the stamps that I used here in the background, but that would be like so many. They're just a bunch of postage stamps, a lot of Tim Holtz stamps, other stuff that I had in my stash already. Um, but basically what I did was I had my paper and my MISTI. I placed the stamps that I thought would look well together, and I used ink, the oxide ink, the Distress Oxide inks. That particular ink is really good for this technique. I'd place my stamps there. I used my MISTI to stamp that, and my first impression was I think it's Rustic Wilderness green. Then what you do is you take a little paper towel and just kind of smudge where you stamped, and it kind of just gives you that colorful little background. It just kind of smudges your ink out there. And then, of course, I cleaned those stamps, got another set of stamps, placed them in different areas. Then I used Mowed Lawn, which is another color, and then smudged those. Then I repeated that process, got another set of stamps, and used the Lumberjack Red and smudged those about. And you just get such an interesting background. And maybe I'll do a little tutorial just showing how I did that background. It's super fun. And then, I don't know if you can tell, but in the background where there were kind of some gaps, I came through with this particular stamp here, the little stars on this set, and I used the oxide color old paper and just stamped those stars in various little places where it was kind of open. You can see them really good right here, to fill up some of the the open gap spots. So this was a super fun, I want to do a bunch more of the ink smudging. I think that's a very fun technique to add a very interesting background. And then from there I used some Tim Holtz ephemera, which you guys are probably familiar with that. And then my little Santa here, he is again from the stamp set what I just showed y'all. This is the Jolly Holiday CMS 474. And he is this guy right here. Now, of course, when you stamp him, I think I stamped him in like a brown color instead of a black. It just was a little softer. I think I used this particular color, the rich cocoa memento. And so you get that solid background, right? And I didn't really want him necessarily just brown or black. So what I did was I came through and I took my oxide ink and I spread it on my little nonstick craft surface and added water to it, and then used that as a watercolor to kind of go over those darker areas to just add color. I did that. And then I also used, I think I had a white ink too, that I did the same thing and just kind of made sure these were just kind of popped more with that white and went over that. So it wasn't just a solid black or brown image. It added that color and it came out really well. I was kind of nervous as to how that would look, you know, on that solid stamp image, but it came out pretty good, I think. And then I did some stickles in various places. I don't know if you can see that on his hat and here, and his cuff, and of course here. Did some stickles type. It's kind of hard to see. It kind of blends. But yeah, this card was really fun. I love this. So yeah, look up ink smudging. So that's a fun technique. The inside, I took this stamp, and that particular stamp came from this other set. So this one is the Jolly Santa CMS 442. I used this stamp for the inside sentiment, and you'll see on the back I used this little stamp. It's like a letter from Santa. So, and that's what I'll show you that right now. And this paper here is actually, I think these are the Tim Holtz backdrop papers. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But I put a little strip here inside. And then I did one in the back with that letter from Santa. I thought that was really cute. Here I come, though I am still quite far away. I will be there for Christmas Day, Santa Claus. I love that. And there, here in the corner, I did a little stamp, and that is from Miss Anna White's designs, from Whippersnapper Designs, and that's this little stamp here. And the set is called North Pole Post. Oh, I love this set. I'm just going to use this more and more. In fact, I think that may have been, yes, that was, here you can see, it's another one of those stamps. That postcard is also from this set as well. So, yeah. And then the little holly here is actually, I think I used it in a couple of places. I'll show, uh-oh, sorry, I moved my camera. Sorry. This is from My Creative Time, and it's this holly plate die. Gosh, I love this. You can make just all kind of, I've got a whole bunch in my little stash here to use on different projects. But yeah, so that's what this little stamp and holly are here. And then I put some stickles here. So yeah, that's this card here. I love this. I think I just want to make a whole bunch more backgrounds with that. I think that's pretty cool. So that's that card. This other card here, it's a little different. The colors are fun and playful. So I love this. It says joy. And see this holly? Again, that's from that holly plate die from My Creative Time. I think this is a slightly larger size. And then this particular joy came from this set here. It's Thinlits from Tim Holtz and Sizzix. And its name is Big Tidings. So you can see that there. So yeah, it's got Noel and Joy. It's got a few other things in there as well that I thought are pretty cute. So I did the word joy and backed it up with some glittery paper there. Just used some paper that's been in my stash for a bit. And of course, you guys probably recognize this die. That's My Creative Time, her pretty scallop rectangle frame. I use this often. So that's this card. And let's see what I do on the inside. Okay, I came through again and used those same dies, the pretty scallop rectangle die. And I used a big stamp here. I just thought that was really neat. Good Tidings of Comfort and Joy. And that's another Tim Holtz stamp set. That's this one here. It's called Bold Tidings. So that's that. I thought this was just so fun and playful, and the colors are bright and playful, so I really enjoyed that. And on the back, I had a random snowman stamp. I just did that and kept it kind of simple on the back. But yeah, those are my 2 cards for the day. I have been doing something different. I have gotten into the world of transfers. I have also got myself a few transfers from a couple of different companies, Prima Marketing and then Iron Orchid Designs. So, Iron Orchid Designs is, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, I'm sure probably some of you are. They have transfers and stamps that are designed for home decor. They're bigger, you know, the stamps are bigger. So I'll show you, I'm going to pull this bad boy out over here. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to even capture all of it because it's so large. So anyway, so here's my handwrite, and here's the stamps. These are huge. These are giant. Like I say, they are meant for home decor. So this is Frosty's Sweet Shop is what this particular stamp set is. Comes with candies, some snowmen, peppermint sticks, some holly, some really beautiful holly there. And these are just giant. So, again, the company is, I'll show you, Iron Orchid Designs, and this is Frosty's Sweet Shop. I'm going to show you a picture on the back, because what you can do, sorry, this is kind of awkward. I don't know if you can see this picture very well. See how large, yeah, let's see if I can move my camera a little bit. This is actually a wooden crate. And then they've stamped the outside of that crate. And, you know, just decorated it up. So, my next big adventure with crafting is going to be taking bigger pieces like this, like little pieces of furniture, serving trays, platters, things like that, painting them and putting transfers and stamps on them. That's something I'm pretty excited about. So I've got a little piece that I've done to start off with. I'll show you that. So yeah, Iron Orchid Designs, that's pretty fun to see. That's really beautiful. Their products are really beautiful. So this is just a little wall hanging. It's a little, I've got the wood itself from Michaels. I haven't painted the back of it yet. It's just going to paint the back of it because I'm hoping to actually sell some of these. It's kind of messy back here, but yeah. So this is just a little piece of wood. Maybe this bow is too much. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll hot glue him kind of more up here-ish, you know, to kind of hang. Like, so it's kind of hard to show this, honestly. Well, Yeah. I think you might get the idea. I'm not sure. Again, though, it's a wall hanging. And what I did is I painted it with some chalk paint, some Pretty Sage chalk paint. And then after that, I dry brushed it with some white to give it these white streaks, Just do some dry brushing. And then after that, I just simply stamped this piece of wood. This is another stamp set, these snowflakes that I also got from Iron Orchid Design. And they're huge. They're big stamps. So I just stamped it. Really, that's all I did. Just stamp it with those big stamps. And then after that, I came through and did some splattering and some ink gel, or gel pen dots all around to kind of give it that look of snow. I also edged out the edges with more white, and this is just going to be a sweet little wall hanging. I'm going to have to figure out my bow here. I'm not sure how happy. I think he's beautiful, but I feel like he needs to maybe be like hot glued in place, so he just kind of sits like so. And I got a little snowflake charm. Maybe I'll kind of hot glue that in place as well too, so it just kind of sits more firm. So I like making these little bows. Basically all this is just a bunch of cut up little pieces here. And I think they look better when they're kind of fanned out. So I might even maybe put some hot glue in between here to kind of keep them fanned out. So yeah, that is some new things I'm doing. Decorating bigger pieces, like home decor pieces, not just cards, which, I'm always going to do cards. I love cards. That's my go-to constantly. But I'm finding myself drawn to this type of stuff too. Now, whenever you do and cut up your little ribbons and stuff, I don't like to waste. So what I did is I got this little jar from the Dollar Tree. It's just a little tiny, looks like a little candy jar. But then I keep my little pieces in here. Because you know how we do. We use all this kind of stuff for bits and pieces of our cards, So I don't waste those. I save them in my little jar here. I'm going to actually decorate the jar too. So, yeah. Okay, more transfers. Let's see. Let's show these first because they're kind of getting in the way. Okay. These particular transfers, I'll show you the packaging I got from, it's a Prima company. Let's see, where is this showing the full name? Here we go. So it's Prima Marketing Redesign. Let's see if it shows you better up here. So, yeah, so the brand name is Prima, but then they have a portion of their company or subcategory or whatever is redesign. And so these are actually transfers. I'll show you the back of the packaging. These are some transfers that you can add to furniture or whatever, not just whatever, so many things that you can do. And I'll show you what I did. I also went and got these at the Dollar Tree. I'm making a coffee bar, like a cocoa coffee bar for my big kitchen for the Airbnb. And so I got these from the Dollar Tree, and I put this transfer on here. And I think I'll put like a little sign, another transfer or something here. I'm going to put peppermint cocoa in here. Or maybe just bits of peppermint. I don't know. So there's that one there. It was a little tricky getting it onto the glass. Usually these come off really easily, but this slick surface was a little tricky. So I think lots of times you maybe want to paint a surface or put some sort of sealer over your surface and then put your transfer, and it won't be as tricky. I'm still learning. So there's that little guy. And then here's this little guy. This is from another set of transfers from that same company. And I thought what would be cool to add to this is like maybe some pumpkin spice latte mix, like with some instant coffee and pumpkin spice mix. And that way people can kind of scoop out and have that at the little coffee bar. So I just think this is too much fun. I'm having too much fun with the transfers and the big stamps. I'm going to set these aside. Okay. I have one more image to show you, or one more thing to show you. I'll show you these images as well, again from that same Prima company. And look at these. Gosh, that cocoa is what was on that jar. So I used the little truck here and some leaves and one of the little sentiments for my next project here. And that's this guy. Again, another wall hanging. I got this from Michael's, the board itself. I painted it with that Pretty Sage paint as a chalk paint. I really like chalk paints. Chalk paints seem to be pretty forgiving and easy to work with. And then I edged out my board with some gold and some dark, what they call finishing wax or antiquing wax, which gives you that kind of aged look. So you see that? So yeah, I painted him. I sanded him down a little bit so he wasn't just all solid. I did a little bit of dry brushing with some white. I went over it with some antiquing wax, which kind of, it looks really dark brown when you first lay that antiquing wax down. But then what you do is you come behind with a cloth and kind of wipe it back. So what it does is it settles in your crevices, in your creases and all your stuff here, whatever, in your project. And then I added my transfers. This is all just transfers. And what you do is it's just like a rub-on. It comes with like a cover sheet, and then you lay it down here. And it usually comes with some sort of little stick, or it's square typically, and you just keep rubbing until this adheres. Sometimes you might have to do a little harder in some sections. But that's this particular project, and he is another little wall hanging. And then I came through, I don't know if you can see, and I splattered it with some gold paint just to give it some interest in the background there. And that is my last project. So I love it. I love it so much. I'm going to be doing more of this type of thing because it's just too fun and really easy, honestly, once you get the hang of just rubbing this onto your surface, and having your surface painted the way you like it. And then bam, you've got some cool decor. So I'm hoping to show y'all more of this as I go along, and y'all have a great day. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.